from Somaliland also took a study visit to the country's Independent Electoral Commission to look closely at the practices and the institutional framework of the commission. Of course, that as it supports democratic governance. So Mr. Hassan is here with us here in the studio to share some of the takeaways that they got as the delegation from Somaliland, as well as lessons for them from the symposium and from Botswana. Let me welcome you, Mr. Hassan. Very good morning. Thank you for coming through.
Very good morning. Thank you for having me, BTV.
Right. I want to just first quickly clarify this one. We're not talking about Somalia. We're talking about Somaliland.
Yes,
right.
That's right.
If we could just give us a brief introduction of Somaliland and just the sovereignty of this land we're talking about. Yeah.
So Somaliland, thank you very much, first and foremost. And I would also like to extend our appreciation and gratitude to the Independent Electoral Commission of Botswana, who jointly held a very successful 21st Symposium and Awards session here in Gaborone. So Somaliland, it's a nation that's in the Horn of Africa. It was the British Protectorate, which gained independence in 1960. We then joined what was called the Republic of Somalia at that time. We regained our independence in 1991. Somaliland has been functioning as an autonomous, as an elected democratic, has had elected democratic process. Has been functioning, independently, but yet to gain recognition. So, as part of that, we have had, international engagements. We've had, peace and stability over the last 31 years.
Absolutely.
So that's what Somaliland is.
Okay, and Somaliland has practiced, a very vibrant and functional democracy. Much like the example of Botswana, it was just last year that after 2 terms, the party that was ruling had then lost elections to another party that had been in opposition. Let's talk about that. The holding on to democratic rule or democratic principles as a sovereign state. I'll call you sovereign state, even though you're talking about lack of recognition. Yes,
absolutely. Thank you very much for that. Somaliland upholds, the values in which every nation wants to move forward and develop peace, stability, and development. We've had successful 10 elections, presidential and parliamentarians. We've had successions of peaceful handover of power, and similar to that journey of Botswana, we had a very successful election on the 13th of November 2024, which was deemed by the international community to be a free, fair and transparent election. And it's that democratic principles that Somaliland wants to inform the world that this is a very peaceful and very forward-thinking country in a very volatile region of Africa.
So let's talk about the symposium, because then we're sitting here, you and I, from 2 democratically led countries, peacefully led countries, but participating and meaningfully in such a forum that is looking at best practices in electoral affairs and so on and so forth. What is the value in it? I know that Somaliland is participating for the first time. What motivated this participation?
Yes. So this symposium that was jointly delivered by the Independent Electoral Commission of Botswana and the ICPS was to gather and to bring together and showcase and learn lessons from countries and electoral management bodies across the world, in which we learn about the challenges of adhering and upholding the democratic values and elections and the process that every nation wants to give their people the freedom and the will and the power to be able to democratically elect their leaders. So we have shared a lot. We've engaged with the Independent Electoral Commission of Botswana, and also we also had some contributions to do. Somaliland is the first country and the only country that utilizes the iris biometric voter verification system.
Okay.
And that system, along with many other technologies that are available to electoral management bodies to enhance and strengthen the credibility of elections. So many countries are now looking at other alternatives on how they can utilize technology as a way to advance the processes of elections and to ensure that there's integrity built within the elections, and hence why there has been absolutely no objections to the results in Somaliland, and that allowed the platform for the peaceful transfer of power.
This is very interesting. I find that particularly interesting, the advancement of technology. Africa is really trying to lead itself into the full optimal utilization of digital technologies and the use of biometric technologies for elections. I'm just curious, how does this work? You start at registration time? Or?
Absolutely, yes. So technology, of course, facilitates systems and processes. So in 2016, Somaliland embarked on setting up a voter registration system to register their voters who are eligible. So it was at that time that we piloted the fingerprint, like all other nations are using. But we found that there was a much more advanced system of using the iris. The iris is a very complex part of our body in which that every single individual human being has a unique iris. So that enhanced the credibility that the voters can confidently be able to register themselves, can confidently be able to vote, knowing that the right individuals who are eligible will be able to cast their votes openly, freely and fairly, without eliminating any issues of mishandling or mismanagement.
Ghost voters' rolls and stuff like that, where we have heard the accusations. But let's talk about what it is that then Somaliland learned from the symposium. Let's take lessons that you picked from the Botswana, the Independent Electoral Commission specifically, because you also had a learning visit with the commission. Yes,
absolutely. So we've learned quite a lot, but just to name a few. We've learned that the core principle or the core factor of building an electoral management body is the institutional building. And I think we have learned that the structures and the processes in which the institutional building is taken, such as that of the Independent Electoral Commission of Botswana, is at the core and at the heart of the work that we do. So when we go back, we'll be looking at our institutions and how we can put in place strategies and processes to strengthen, because individuals come and go, commissioners are elected, their term ends, but it's the institution that the voters have the trust in their processes, in their technical ability to be able to deliver free and fair elections.
So, and talking about election management organizations, an issue that will always come up, even in the most fair and most democratic election events, is the autonomy of such institutions. Did this come up at the symposium? Perhaps how best to address it going forward? Did you discuss?
Yes, absolutely. That is a question in the minds of every EMB. The institution needs to be truly independent. But at the same time, they need to ensure that all the stakeholders, the political actors, are engaged in the selection of the commissioners, in how decisions are made by the commission, that there's a robust engagement with the stakeholders, that there's free and transparent process leading up to the election day. So it's the pre-election process of engaging and involving the actors and the players, so that the processes of the electoral management body is seen as a truly independent, engaging, transparent process.
This independent always just comes as a sticking point because just how independent can an electoral management body be totally independent, especially as regards its relationship to the government that would be in place at the time of the event of the election event?
Yes, I mean there will always be an issue because the electoral management body has to work with the existing government for budget, for logistical, for legal frameworks. So there is an element of ensuring that we work with the government at an arm's length, because we cannot independently, work. It's the nation. We are part. The AMBs are part of the institutional, building of a country, but I think the independence depends on how the commission itself, carries itself governance and how it ensures that, that all the actors are fully aware of, your processes. They're involved, and there's transparency, of course, as you mentioned. Yeah.
Unfortunately, this is all the time that I can have on this discussion, but it really would have made for longer time. There's so many other questions that I want to ask in terms of your takeaways from this, but unfortunately, this is all the time I have. And thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I would like to extend my congratulations also to the people of Botswana, particularly for the 4x4 relay, in which you have made Africa proud. Thank you very much for having me.
It remains our national pride, indeed. In fact, a whole celebration was set up by His Excellency President Advocate Maboko to recognize and honor that team that Mr. Musa Hassan is recognizing. Just ending off that discussion there with Chairperson of the National Electoral Commission of Somaliland about the takeaways that it is that he found from the 21st Annual International Electoral Affairs Symposium and Awards. Did you get an award?
We did. We got the Excellence.
You got the Excellence Awards.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Let's go to the news in Botswana.
Welcome